It's time to fire up the 3DO and play some Shockwave. It was included as a pack-in with the GOLDSTAR model of 3DO, so that's what I'm going to play this on. For those of you unfamiliar with the 3DO, here's a quick shot of what the controller looks like. In layout, it's very similar to a Genesis controller, with the addition of shoulder buttons. Now let's take a look at the box. Photorealistic real-world locations and landscapes, from Egypt to the Congo, all based on aerial photos and geographical data. Stunning 3D terrain, sliced down valleys, around mountains, and between skyscrapers. 20 plus minutes of full screen video created using Hollywood movie making techniques, live actors, blue screen photography, and computer generated sets. This is what your standard 3DO box would look like. These are known as long boxes. The advertisement on the inside here is for Road Rash on the 3DO, which is one of the best games on the console. This game actually received an expansion, Operation Jumpgate, and a sequel, Shockwave 2, but we're talking about the original. Let's get into it. In the early 90s, FMV, or full motion video, was cutting-edge technology. Shockwave was released in June 1994, and I'm gonna let the intro FMV tell the plot of this one. Space, the final frontier. Just kidding. These guys definitely saw Star Trek: The Next Generation. Man, 2019 was an eventful year.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you a special report.
Good evening. Unexpected meteor showers have been reported over North America, Europe, and Asia, causing widespread damage and disruption to many communication systems. The National Weather Service reports... Controller, what is going on? Al, what is...
What the hell is going on? Major Stewart, you getting this?
Affirmative. Commander Crane, unidentified flying objects approaching Earth.
Plot their approach vector and sound red alert.
My God. There are thousands of them. NORAD and Edwards aren't responding. Nothing yet from SAC.
They must be jamming us somehow. Call up the pilot roster.
All right.
Who can we get in the air now?
Easton. Just got in today.
Thank God. We'll need John. He's as good a squad leader as it gets. Who else?
Chang, she's good. A risk taker, but solid.
I know Alomar. Good fighter.
Yeah.
He'll come through. Hauser. Small package, but she packs a big punch. Probably the best we got.
Scott, he's a good shooter, but he treats everything like a game. Oh, we got the rookie. Just in from Miramar. He's a real ace on the simulators. But in combat, who knows?
Well, we stand a fighting chance with this crew. I just hope that the kid can cut it.
Wildcard, I think it's a mistake, but the old man is sending you in. Stay cool. Play it safe and straight, people. Boomer out.
Lieutenant, this is not a drill. Your mission is active reconnaissance over the Nile Delta. Heavy alien activity reported at Giza and Cairo. Set recon scanner for auto-record.
This is our last chance, Wildcard. Stay focused on our main objectives in the Valley of the Kings, Giza, and Cairo. We can still refuel just before Giza, but it's up to you. Just keep us alive and finish the job.
The play involves piloting a F-177 fighter, which looks to be modeled after the F-117 Nighthawk, aka the stealth fighter. It controls more like a hovercraft in that you can't crash into the ground and have a limited altitude that you can climb to. The weapons at your disposal are lasers and missiles, and the object basically is to fly around and destroy all of the aliens that have invaded.
This isn't a game, Lieutenant.
Huh, could have fooled me. As you progress through your missions, you'll get updates from your crew members through little FMV cutscenes in your display there, and you'll also hear radio broadcasts from around the world as to what's happening with the alien invasion.
Great work. You've cleared the Valley of the Kings, your first mission objective.
The levels are really linear, and as you see in the display there, most of them are just like a road that you're driving down.
Eyewitnesses in Moscow say that Russian Air Force jets were in the air for less than a minute before being shot down by the alien fighters.
The little dots there on your map screen are really a boundary. If you go past those dots, you start taking damage immediately.
The refueling drone is waiting for us just beyond the rise.
It is very hard to dodge enemy shots in this game. It would really benefit if there was some sort of strafe, but really you can just have to serpentine back and forth to try to avoid as many shots as you can. That makes these refueling drones very vital. All you do is fly underneath them, and it refreshes your energy for your lasers, your shields, and your missiles. Here you see your path is very narrow, and it makes it really tough when you're dogfighting these enemy fighters to stay in bounds when you're doing these big turns to try to get around them and line them up for a shot. Now the enemies can go out of bounds all they want, so a lot of times they'll lead you out there, and it only causes a lot of damage to your ship.
Egyptian army units are still fighting in the oil fields. Stay clear of any exploding refineries.
Oops. Sorry, Egyptians.
They won't appreciate that.
How do you know? They're probably insured anyways.
We're coming up on Giza, our second mission objective. So either we destroy all aliens here, or risk facing them later if they pull back to Cairo.
So this is one of the gameplay mechanics. If you don't clear out every alien in an area and just cruise past them, they just pile up. So you end up fighting even more enemies the next area that you come to.
We've made it to Cairo, our final mission objective. Clear out all the alien war machines, and it should halt their advance across Africa.
The presentation of this game is all over the place. On the box, it brags about its photorealistic graphics. I don't know what kind of photos they were using to make these graphics. But the explosions look cool, and the FMV sequences, for the time, look really good.
You won't have many friends when this is over.
At the time, the Sega CD couldn't compete with the FMV that's shown in this game. The FMV on a Sega CD would be a small window that you'd be looking in, and the video is way grainier. Even on a Windows machine, the full motion video was windowed most of the time. So this being close to full screen is a big win.
Destroy this alien command center, and you'll liberate the whole Cairo area.
Okay, we're coming up on the alien command center here, which is, I guess, the first boss. And that's it. I don't know what this is, but let's blow it up anyway. Now the level keeps going until you make it to the end of the track here, which is kind of odd.
Mission success. Any scattered alien forces appear confused without this fortress to direct their attacks.
Good strike, Wildcard. Israeli and Egyptian forces are mounting a counterattack over Cairo. ICE, set course for refuel over Gibraltar. Omaha out.
After you finish each level, you get
Here's
this
a summary
overview of your
your
score,
combat performance
and you
over
also get
Egypt.
a strange speech.
Through the ages, we've looked to the stars for our gods and saviors, hoping to find some kindred souls who could explain to us the secrets of the heavens. And now they're here, and they brought our apocalypse.
That's heavy, man.
It's Scott, sir. Damaged right thruster.
This is as good as it gets, sports fans. It's gonna be a long slide into home.
All pilots have reported in, sir. We've made it through round 1. Yes, Dr. Lawrence.
I've studied the initial scans from Moscow and London. It's very strange. The aliens are using some sort of chemical agent. Those exposed seem to be in a state of shock. No reactions. Not even to explosions or falling debris. Air samples are inconclusive.
Keep on it. What about civilian channels?
Take a look at this.
Reports are coming in that many strategic bases across the U.S. were attacked within the last hour. Eyewitnesses have been unable to identify the attackers, but they speculate that we're being attacked by alien invaders. Washington was also hit hard. It's rumored that the president survived the initial attack and is in hiding, presumably underground. In the Middle East, a heroic effort by a lone fighter pilot has allowed local forces to drive the aliens into retreat. And here in New York, thousands of people have subways trying to escape the effects of toxic chemical weapons. We've locked our doors here in the studio and will remain on the air as long as we can.
All right, listen up, everybody. It's a worldwide attack. There's no word from the Pentagon or Washington. Almost all airfields, bases, and missile silos were hit. Our first strikes had minimal impact. Now, luckily, the satellite defense net is still operational, so we've been tracking them pretty closely. Tactical file, please. This is a Scout, top speed Mach 1, armed with short-range weapons, highly maneuverable. Too light to withstand repeated hits.
Listen for lock on or they'll be all over you.
Now, this is an interceptor. Top speed Mach 2. It fires some sort of energy sphere which explodes on contact.
But it's an easy target while it recharges.
Now, these mobile tripods are slow, but armed with 360-degree firepower. Play hit and run with the bastards as long as you can. It's total chaos down there, and until we hear from Washington, it looks like it's up to us.
All right. Let's go!
Back to the presentation. The sound is very good.
Aliens seem to
The
be
sound effects have a lot of
constructing
punch to
large
them.
buildings.
The lasers sound good. The explosions sound good.
But I'd say
I only
the
wish it
best
had
action
more
would be to
music.
destroy it.
I was actually surprised by how smoothly this game plays also. This is the second level boss here.
Good job destroying those forces. You were quite lethal in that last attack.
Wildcard. Peruvian forces report light casualties thanks to your good work. Refuel over Panama and stand by for new orders. Omaha out.
Here's how you did here in South America, Wildcard.
I cringe with every red blossom of fire which explodes below. Every explosion spells the end of wives and husbands, children and friends, everything that makes up our world. And here I stand in temporary safety. Only weeks ago I felt like a god surveying his domain. And now I toss a handful of impotent thunderbolts at an unseen destroyer who makes a mockery of us all.
This guy's a real bummer.
This is the Space Shuttle Endeavor. We are under attack. Request immediate assistance.
Endeavor, this is the Omaha.
Omaha, come in.
Dr. Lawrence? Anything on that chemical analysis?
Yes, sir. Exposure to the alien gas produces muscle spasms, arrhythmia, in many cases paralysis. It might be able to counter the effects with medication, but we'll need more time.
Playing on their timetable now, Doctor. Anything else?
Yes, I have more tactical on alien craft from the defense net. Wildcard encountered this heat-seeking fighter, moves at speeds approaching Mach 4, and is equipped with 2 medium-range weapons. Also carries light shielding, but it doesn't maneuver well. Now this is intriguing. These giant collectors are transporting gassed victims to newly constructed containment facilities, or prisons, if you will. I believe these collectors use an internal vacuum system to entrap their victims.
You're telling me they're actually sucking people off the street?
Appears so. Now, the prisons are surrounded by power cells that create a protective force field. Hitting these cells should deactivate the field, but both the collectors and the prisons are heavily protected. I've downloaded this information for the pilots.
All right, thanks, Doctor. I hope they can make sense of this. I sure as hell can't.
Wildcard. Aliens are targeting DefenseNet uplink stations in Los Angeles. You must neutralize this alien threat or we'll lose our intel network. Expect heavy traffic in your flight path. Omaha out.
Our flight path begins in Las Vegas. There's a large concentration of aliens to eliminate here before reaching our main objective, Los Angeles. We'll also need to clear all aliens out of Riverside, Pasadena, and Burbank.
Buy, rent, or leave it on the shelf. This one's a leave it on the shelf for sure. It's boring, repetitive, and it's also very hard. This level is where I shut it off because I was having trouble just seeing anything. Does this look like Los Angeles or California to you? And the levels just go on and on. It takes probably 20 minutes to finish a level, which is way more of this than I want to play in one sitting.
Time to rock and roll!
This game was actually later released for Windows, Mac, the Apple Pippin of all things, PlayStation, and Saturn. If you want to play a game similar to this that's a lot better, play Descent. Okay, I take it all back. This game does have photorealistic graphics. Look, there's the Hollywood sign. Oh, and guess what? You can blow it up. Cool. Let's see what the magazine said at the time, starting with GamePro. It was reviewed in the September 1994 issue, with the death and return of Superman on the cover. Review by The Atomic Dog. I didn't know George Clinton reviewed video games. Cool. Shockwave has great live-action video, computer-generated animated graphics, and texture-mapped polygons. The story sequences will make sci-fi hardware fans drool. I like this line. Shooter vets eager to cut another notch into their 3DO will be in for a shock. What does that mean? Shockwave won't send a shockwave through the shooter world, but it's a serious workout just the same. Let's check out the game faces for the score. Graphics 4, sound 3.5, control 4, fun factor 4. That's a pretty decent review. I would peg the fun factor on this one at about a 2, however. Let's move on to Electronic Gaming Monthly. This game was covered in the August 1994 issue with Super Return of the Jedi on the cover. Let's look inside and meet the review crew. For this one, we've got Ed Semrad, Daniel Carpenter, L. Manuel, Sushi X, and Mike Wygand. Currently, Sushi X is into strip poker as one of his favorite games. Interesting. Hold on to your hats, folks. Ed Semrad gave it a 9. I was amazed by this game. I'd been expecting some cheesy full motion game, but this is one hot title. Daniel Carpenter notes the good acting and also says the game has a non-linear feel, which I don't know what he's talking about. Al Manuel gives it a 7 and says it's an impressive title. Even though I don't like full motion video in games, I really like how it was used in this title. And finally, Sushi X gives it a 7 and says this game is great for its category. I was real surprised when I looked at this review. This game got real good scores, and it just goes to show how impressive the technology was at the time, that they were able to overlook a lot of gameplay issues. Thanks for watching, and I hope you catch the next one.
Dr. Lawrence, requesting wildcard status.
The patient suffers from 2 cracked ribs and is showing signs of extreme exhaustion. I recommend 24-hour observation.
Negative, Doctor. We need every pilot out there. Tell wildcard to report to Hangar 1 for immediate launch. Commander Crane is sending you back, wildcard. You must complete your mission. We don't have pilots to spare. Stand by for booster ignition.